There is now what's called an invest right there. Was an area to watch, sort of this area to monitor. Now it is being investigated. We're going to have some reconnaissance data going in there. The models are going to now start picking this up. And again, something to watch, bringing unsettled weather to parts of the Gulf of Mexico. But that's not the only thing here. There are others, and we'll get to those in due time. But let us first now go to the Gulf of Mexico. As we mentioned, this is now an invest. We are officially investigating this system in the southwestern Gulf of Mexico with a pretty high chance of development over the coming days. But notice that the clouds and even showers extend well away from where that core of that investigation is ongoing. So bad weather still may be accompanying this thing 1,000 miles away from where the center of circulation is. That's important to note. Jen's going to talk much more about the threat potentially of heavy rain to Texas and areas nearby over the coming days. But strictly speaking, the tropical development, if it's going to take place, probably somewhere down there in the southern Gulf of Mexico, and it may happen in the next couple of days, although we'll watch that. I'll show you in just a second what we're watching. The areas of showers and thunderstorms over the Gulf of Mexico, scattered in nature, not a whole lot different than what you would see on average, but definitely, you know, some clouds. Again, we'll be watching this area get a bit more stormy over time on the distant periphery of what's really going on here in the southern Gulf of Mexico. There's a whole lot of convection. Now, these are mostly transient elements of, or bursts of thunderstorm activity, you can call it. And each one of them actually kind of associated with little areas of spin aloft. Not so much near the surface, but aloft. But sometimes over time, you can get those to merge and help organize an area of low pressure near the surface. We're not seeing that right now. If you look at the wind pattern, it is largely straight. There's not a lot of curvature in the wind flow over the Gulf of Mexico, at least according to the models. Surface observations and buoys support that, of course. But over time, as I mentioned, what we've got now is mostly sort of irregular places of thunderstorms and some spin aloft. Over time, those can sometimes aggregate and accumulate and try to get an area of low pressure to develop underneath that. Maybe it happens in the next 48 hours. The models sometimes will try to do that here. A couple of the models are doing that near the Texas-Mexico border. We may see some of that farther to the south. But overall, I still think the chances of this thing becoming a high-end tropical cyclone are pretty low, but we always have to watch out. The southern Gulf of Mexico is a dangerous place for tropical development. Things can get going in a hurry. Now, those of us in the northern Gulf of Mexico, let's say from New Orleans on eastbound, not really to worry with this one so much. Big old high pressure, the heat wave we're talking about, blocking this thing and sending it westbound. But it is the rain that is going to be the story that really will extend, regardless of whether or not this thing becomes a tropical cyclone in the southern Gulf of Mexico. The rain will extend much farther to the north over Texas. And Jen, you're going to be watching that very carefully.
Right.